Yes! Yes! Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Big news in the NFL today. Big news in the NFL today. Man, I am jacked up. I hope you're jacked up. Oh, God, what a great day to talk football. Funk! Been a solid week of stuff to catch. Yes. Slasher says, I called Watson to the Browns. No one believed me. I'm not doubting you. Not doubting you. I don't remember that. Don't remember that, man. One Pride, what's up, man? Big news in the NFL today. Big news in the NFL. The biggest news in the NFL. Juju Smith-Schuster is a Kansas City Chief. How exciting is that? Look at the AFC West. And there's some other stuff that happened too. But, man, the AFC West, how exciting is this, man? Everybody's loading up. Slasher, though, hey, the number one thing I'm excited about is I follow a lot of social media, and the trades I've been seeing. One guy, he was serious. Carolina sends 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, CMC, Brian Burns, and Jeremy Chin. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? I saw one. It was Derek Brown, Burns, 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s. It's just crazy. So I think the final trade compensation is 3 number 1s, a 3rd and a 4th. I think the 3rd is next year and the 4th is in 2024. And the Texans will also get a 5th round pick in return. One Pride 40 says Watson is the bigger news. I don't know. That's debatable. I'm kind of thinking Juju Smith with Kansas City's right part. No, I'm being facetious. Yes. Very facetious. Yes. I've been waiting for this because I want to know how this affects my mock draft. It has not. Let me refresh Draft Tech because Draft Tech still has Cleveland picking 13. Yeah, as of right now, they don't have it. But I'll have Wednesday video with the Houston Texans, man. Yeah, I am too. Big new contract. Great team, great offense. Cleveland's going to be a fun team. And Baker Mayfield, I would love it. It's not going to happen. But I would love to see Baker Mayfield go to Pittsburgh. Wouldn't that be great? It's not going to happen. He could end up in Indianapolis, believe it or not. He could end up in Atlanta. So I say that because, Matt Ryan wasn't very happy. There's talk about Matt Ryan going to Indianapolis, which I think would be a great move for both teams. Baker Mayfield going to Atlanta might make sense. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens. But yeah. Denver Gator, what is up, brother? Man, hey, thank you on the intro, man. I thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I spent some time on it, man. I thought about doing that before each video, but might be a little too much. But man, he says, love the new intro. NFL turned inside out and upside down. Casey has a target on her back. AFC gauntlet. Oh, yeah. I mean, Buffalo, big news. Von Miller, kind of want to talk about that. Of course, the news that just happened not too long ago, Watson going to Cleveland. Big deal. The AFC is going to be wild. The AFC West is going to be wild. Funk says, what did I miss, y'all? Juju Smith-Schuster is a Chief. That's the big news. There's some other stuff. But Juju going to Kansas City is huge. What do you think about wide receiver? This is a brilliant move. I don't remember the contract. I don't know if it's 2 years, 12 million or 1 year, 12 million. This is perfect because he has speed. All right. He's not been able to stay healthy, but when healthy, he's a very, very good player. Maybe a wide receiver one. He's better as a wide receiver too, but for Detroit, this is perfect because you have a deep threat. And this is really going to help Amon-Ra St. Brown. It wouldn't surprise me if Amon-Ra has a better statistical season than DJ Chark, but DJ Chark's speed is really, really going to help. Great move. I like what Detroit's been doing, man. And when I say what I like they're doing is that no big time free agents, no big news, and this is smart. So I kind of was going to make fun of Buffalo a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah. Amazement says, damn, it's been a fun and crazy week in the NFL. Never seen so many trade moves. Yeah. Great. Brady coming back. Buffalo. It's kind of funny. They signed Von Miller and OJ Howard, and that's like a sub story. So yeah. What do I think of the Christian Kirk contract? A little surprised that he got that much, but a really good player. I really liked Christian Kirk, and I loved him coming out of Texas A&M. So a little surprised. So Denver Gator says, can't wait for Juju and Jackson Mahomes TikTok videos. Somebody on Instagram put out the most hated trio in the world was Mahomes' wife, Jackson Mahomes, and Juju. And I'm like, I just hit the unfollow. That's not cool. I mean, dude, dogging on somebody. I can understand dogging on Jackson Mahomes a little bit, but you don't dog on somebody's wife. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't like it, but you're not alone. Yeah, the social. I don't even subscribe to anything Jackson Mahomes, believe it or not. So I have no idea if he's annoying or not. I have no problem with him trying to be a social media icon or star or whatever. I have no problem with it whatsoever. So, man, I know Rodgers has to be pissed off what happens when you take a ton of money and have no cap space to keep the other guys. And I'm going to go out on a limb here because I don't know Aaron Rodgers personally, but I think he knew when he signed that contract that he knew that he was DaVante Adams was going to move on. I think he knew that. I think what they're going to do is try to transition more to an old school offense, rely more on the running game. You got two running backs. The offensive line was banged up in the playoffs. Last year they had a third-round pick, Amari Rodgers, guy I was really high on, and they didn't really use him that much. I think he may end up being wide receiver number one. Keep in mind you're picking. Let me see here. I got the list pulled up in front of me. 22 and 28. Wouldn't surprise me if you go after a wide receiver there. So. Baker to Seattle is my prediction. If I remember correctly, Pete Carroll tried to trade Wilson for the number one picks of the Browns when they took Baker. I actually don't remember that, but Baker in Seattle makes a lot of sense. I also think Drew Lock as a starting quarterback makes a lot of sense. I mean, I said this in the beginning of last year. I really thought Denver should have given the position to Drew Lock. They went with Bridgewater. Everybody's gone, including Bridgewater. He's in Miami now. So, I'll be honest with you, Baker and Drew Lock, if you treat them equal, and one thing about Pete Carroll is a lot of teams say that they don't care about contracts and draft status, and they really do. Pete Carroll doesn't. He don't care if you're a 6th round pick or the number one pick overall. I think if it's a wide open competition, I think Lock actually would beat out Baker, but I'm not biased. I'm very biased towards Drew Lock. I went to same high school, a different year, of course, but I went to same high school. But if you give Baker and Drew Lock an opportunity to compete, and I would love it. I would love it. If Baker beats him out, that would be a win. That would be a win for Seattle. So 1 year, $10 million for DJ Chark. Great contract. Because if he's hurt, can't play, you get rid of him. Little loss. Same contract Juju signed for Kansas City. So Dan, that division in New York is going to be very interesting this year. I see 3 teams making the playoffs out of the division, similar to absolutely. Yeah, I do too. The Chargers and the Raiders almost made the playoffs last year. And the Broncos, now the Broncos are kind of an interesting situation because they were a 7-win team and just changed everything. So they're kind of the wild card, but I mean, they add a future Hall of Famer at quarterback. They spent a lot of money on Randy Gregory. I don't think that's really going to work out, but if it does, you put him next to Bradley Chubb, and oh God, I mean, that in a perfect world, you could have one of the best pass rushing duos in the NFL. Plus, you have a superstar safety and some good players on that front 7. You put that with some really good skill position players. Denver's kind of the odd team out, to be honest with you, but somebody put in that they think all the AFC West teams are making the playoffs. No, somebody's going to be left out. Somebody's going to be a 7-9 win team that is going to be like a 1-5 in the division. That's going to be left out. As of right now, I think it's going to be Denver, which is really going to suck. But yeah, the AFC West is going to be a lot of fun this year. Every divisional game is going to be a primetime game. It should help Hawk. It should help DJ Swift. I mean, if he's healthy the whole year, Detroit will sign him to a long-term deal, or somebody will. I mean, if he's healthy, it's going to be a great signing. Really great signing. Chark, 1 year, $10 million, but it's a 3-year contract. The Lions keep him around, restructure the deal. It only costs like that's smart. It's a great signing. It's a great signing because don't forget, you're just trying to add pieces and then you're building through the draft. I mean, you pick 2 and 32, and I think that the way this draft looks like it's setting up, you're gonna have multiple teams trading, and Detroit will trade down from either 2 or 32. I don't think they're going to trade up from 32. They could, but I think that either 2 or 32 is going to be a trade down. So you're going to see some picks from Detroit. And look what they did last year in the draft. Multiple players. Everybody made the team that they drafted. All of them contributed one way or another. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a really smart signing. Last offseason, Von Miller was in question where he could play. I thought Dallas or Buffalo. The Cowboys absolutely hate the Broncos after last draft. And Randy, last draft, what happened last draft? I don't think the Cowboys would hate the Broncos. They ended up Micah Parsons, who was universally, rookie of the year. But the Randy Gregory situation, this has a recipe for disaster. Okay, there's 4 big things. Number 1, you're asking him to switch positions. Number 2, the expectations are completely unrealistic. Broncos fans, not you specifically, but Broncos fans on social media are thinking Super Bowl. And you have a guy who's never coached in the NFL before. I mean, he's a first-time NFL head coach. He coached in the NFL. First-time head coach. And you guys are thinking Super Bowl. Not you personally. Broncos fans are losing their mind. They think that they just won the Super Bowl. You're a 7-win team. And you know what? If you added Russell Wilson to a Vic Fangio team, I'm scared. A first-time head coach with unrealistic expectations, I'm not really that worried. Look at the Chargers. People are talking about the Chargers beating the Chiefs in the AFC West. Remember, they started off 3-0. Chargers Super Bowl. Did they make the playoffs? No, they didn't. So anyway, position change, unrealistic expectations, injury-prone, off-field issues. It's not 3 strikes. It's 3 strikes and an exclamation point. Hopefully it works out for you. I mean, I got nothing but love for you. So, I mean, I'm not – please don't feel insulted, but the Gregory going to Denver, it doesn't. I don't see it working out. Usually, when you have somebody who has injuries plus off-field issues, and he doesn't want to sign with Dallas because of some wording in the contract, that usually doesn't work. Hopefully, it does. Hopefully it does. And even though I've been kind of making fun of Denver here a little bit, I mean, they're still going to be a dangerous team. Still going to be a dangerous team. So at least I thought I read something about that in his contract. He's referring to DJ Chark. Really love that signing, by the way. Very good signing. I love what we did in trading for Shaq Mason. A very underrated move we made is signing Russell Gage, his solid wide receiver number 301 Landry, but it may have been too costly. Yeah, you did Shaq Mason. You had one player who retired, input Shaq Mason, great signing. Salary cap issue, which kind of makes me wonder what they're kind of doing in New England, but the whole AFC is awesome. And with Brady coming back, everybody in the NFC should be very, very afraid. Denver, yeah, they can't be happy with you. No. But because they kept Dan Quinn and they still got Micah Parsons. They should make Micah Parsons the defensive end. And then you put DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side, and like, okay, let's do it. Which one, Gregory or Aaron Rodgers? I think Rod might be trying to just saying, no, I don't see that. But the one thing is, though, that a lot of people feel like the Packers are just going to self-destruct. No, they're still in good shape. They're easily the team to beat in the NFC North. I would be shocked if Green Bay doesn't have this division won by November. So, yeah, I'm happy. We are a silent free agency team. Most of our moves are re-signs. Yeah, and I love what Detroit's doing. Detroit's doing some really smart stuff. I can't wait to see what they do in the draft. And me and Funk had a little back and forth on YouTube. I think that Detroit could trade down from 2 to 6 with Carolina and maybe even trade down again and just stockpile picks. And Funk said in his mocks, he said, I'm trading down twice. I actually could see that happening. It wouldn't surprise me if Detroit ends up doing that and get multiple draft picks, especially an extra first rounder in 2023, and then end up somewhere in the high teens or, you could end up at maybe 11, 12, or 13. Probably not 13 because Houston has that pick now, but Baker going to Colts. Locke will most likely start in Seattle. Baker going. I could see Baker going to the Colts. I could see Matt Ryan going there. I could see Baker going to Atlanta. And I think Locke will do just fine in Seattle. So where does the Honey Badger go? I wanted us to go after him since he has strong ties to Arians and Bulls. I like Logan Ryan, though. He gives us that veteran experience. The Honey Badger is an interesting situation. Chiefs fans were posting I actually reposted this one guy's tweet who was trashing the Honey Badger, and I'm like, God, Chiefs fans, you're just becoming morons. Reed is not an upgrade from the Honey Badger. He's a younger, cheaper option, which has been something the Chiefs have been liking to do, but the Honey Badgers guy is going to be in Canton someday. There's going to be a team that's going to pay him a lot of money, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes. If he went to Tampa Bay, I would just be like, oh, fuck me. So it's hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. I think Kansas City closed the door, by signing DJ Reed, which he's a fine player, but it's definitely a step down. It'll be very interesting to see where he goes. I'm not really sure I'd know where. I couldn't speculate. God, I'm hoping he doesn't go somewhere cool like Pittsburgh or New England. I'm hoping he goes somewhere just gives him a lot of money in the NFC. The West has to play the West. Yeah. It's going to be a great season, man. It's going to be a great season. Best signing so far, worst signing. Oh boy, that's wow. You got a tough one. Worst signing. I can do a couple different ones, but let's go with Deshaun Watson. I mean, you're breaking the bank for a guy that could have some legal issues. It's a fully guaranteed contract, which is really hard. He didn't play last year, so I love the signing. I mean, you put just boom. That's the worst one. I think Randy Gregory is not a good one. I don't think Von Miller is either. I think the Von Miller one I would say would be the worst signing. Here's why I don't like the Von Miller one. 2 years ago, used a second round pick on the defensive end, AJ Espinoza, and I love that guy. I thought he'd be a day one starter. Had some injuries, and then the next year used first and second round pick on defensive ends. One starts, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. Guy at Miami. And, because he sat out that year with COVID, I wasn't sure if he would be good right away. I thought it might be a project. He started day one, really good player, an impact player. But your second round pick, you're just throwing them away. So you threw away 2 second round picks. Von Miller is a 3-4 outside linebacker, not a defensive end. They run kind of that Tampa 2 type of defense where, they kind of want 4 pass rushers. Now, what Buffalo's saying is that, hey, look, we're just going to score a lot and teams are going to be in pass now mode. They're going to have to play catch up. So Von Miller, we're not going to ask Von Miller to defend a run, but you're in a division of 3 run heavy teams. And I can tell you for a fact, I know how I'm attacking Buffalo. I'm running right at Von Miller because he's not a defensive end and he's 33. So here's what you did. You threw away 2 second round draft picks in 2 years. You're asking a player who's 33 to play out of position, and you want him to be the best player on the team. The reason why it worked for the Rams is he was the 3rd best defensive player on that team. And you had a team ready to roll. Now, the Bills, you could say they're ready to roll, but they ended up losing multiple starters. Now you're asking the guy to play out of position. So for me, it's Von Miller. If it works out and they go to the Super Bowl, I'll eat my words. But, yeah, Von Miller probably number one. Best signing so far. Whew, man, there's so many good ones. You know what? I don't know if it's the best, but what I absolutely loved was the Raiders signing Chandler Jones. And here's why I liked it is you traded Yannick Ngakoue to the Colts. You got Rocky Ya-Sin, a player I really liked. So what you did is that you improved your front, your defensive line and your secondary. So that one signing ended up improving 2 different positions, and then you maxed out Max Crosby. That could also be best signing, would be Max Crosby, 4th round pick. Just great story. Big contract, deserved the big contract. And he didn't break the bank either. I think it was like 4 years, $88 million. So yeah, I didn't since I'm just throwing stuff. Great question. If I had a little more time, I'd probably break it down a little more, but just off the top of my head, I'd say worst Von Miller, best Max Crosby. Great story, great player. Wish he was a Chief. I agree with you. He'd be much better on the Chiefs than the Raiders. Dan, do you like the Juju panic signing? It felt more of a panic move than a calculated one to me. No, I love it because it's a 1-year deal. And Chiefs fans really thought that Miracle Hardman was the number 2 receiver, and you'd have Tyreek Hill and Miracle Hardman. And, Miracle Hardman's not a number 2, all right? He really, to be honest with you, you really want Miracle Hardman to be like a 3-4 special teams guy. But when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, that was because Watkins was a big producer. You got Tyreek Hill as your deep threat. Sammy Watkins is an underneath guy, and then you have Travis Kelce. He can do it all. So with Juju, he replaces Sammy Watkins, and they really need a solid number 2. I really like the move, and Mahomes was really trying hard to recruit Juju, and Juju's like, nah, I'm gonna come back to Pittsburgh. It's a 1-year deal. Last year they signed Jared Reed, I'm sorry, to a 1-year deal. This year, 1 year, $8 million deal, didn't work out. All right. This is good because if it doesn't work out, you just move on. I actually really like it. Now keep in mind, you're not asking him to be a number 1. You're asking him to be a number 3. I mean, Kelsey's Hill's technically number 1, and then, Travis Kelce technically a tight end. In my opinion, Kelsey's the number 1 receiver, and then Tyreek Hill's your number 1A because he's the deep threat, and then you get somebody who takes pressure off both these guys. So I like it. I like it. If they signed him to a big time deal, then I would hate it. So best signing, I'd say JC Jackson. Worst signing, I'd say Christian Kirk. The one thing about the JC Jackson is that I've seen a lot of Patriots players leave and not play as well outside of New England, but I do like what the Chargers are doing, really trying to improve the defense. Problem is they need to improve the interior, and they haven't done that yet. Tracy Walker is the best signing value, 25 for 3 years. I don't know about that, but it's good signing. Good signing. What do you think the Panthers and Saints do at quarterback? Do you think Saints resign Winston? Panthers draft a QB? I'm going to stick with my mock draft at 6, and I actually think that they're going to go and try to trade up with either Detroit or Houston, get a left tackle, and then I think they go with Sam Darnold, and I think they should go with Sam Darnold. I'm going out of order here, but a lot of people forget how talented Sam Darnold was. Give him like a full off season, give him a full mini camp, get him an offensive line, get CMC healthy, and see what you can do. It used to be when you drafted a quarterback, and I know they traded for him, so different, but you give him a year, man. Give him a chance. I mean, don't just write him off after one season when your offensive line was garbage. You're in a brutal division. I mean, give him a chance. The Saints, could they re-sign Winston? Absolutely. The Saints pick at 18. As of right now, they could draft a quarterback. I'd be interested to see what happens. Baker Mayfield's not out of the question either. So the Saints is a question mark. I'm going to stick with my mock draft, and I really think the Panthers go after a left tackle, fix the offensive line. You get CMC. They re-signed DJ Moore, gave him a lot of money, smart contract. Defense, really young, really talented. There's a lot of new pieces they added during the season. See what you can do. But if I'm Carolina, be smart, stick with Darnold, see what you got. If it doesn't, give him 2 years. If it doesn't work out, if he's not the talented player you thought he was, move on. And the one thing I loved is that Darnold even said, "Hey, look, I didn't do good enough. I need to do better." I remember saying Vaughn was washed and he should retire at the end of last year. I think Buffalo really messed up and giving him a lot of money. You threw away 2 draft picks and you're asking him to play defensive end, not outside linebacker, which means that you're going to have him go against left tackles. And you're also, by the way, the AFC East is a heavy run division. This better work, and the only way it can work is for Buffalo to win a Super Bowl. And I'm not even sure they win the AFC East this year. They lost some key players in the offseason. So I predict Rodgers retires after a season and leaving Green Bay, making them pay him and leave Green Bay out to dry. I totally knew Adams was going to Vegas. Well, he knew that when he signed the contract that Adams, wasn't going to stay. I really liked what the Raiders did before they signed DaVante Adams. Now I'm kind of like, oh, God, that's a lot of money and a lot of draft capital. But they did get a number 1 wide receiver to go with Darren Waller. So, I mean, you went to the playoffs last year and you improved your defense. You make a move like this, you got to at least win one. You got at least split one with Kansas City and make the playoffs. That's why I see it. If you get swept by the Chiefs and you're a wild card team and the Chiefs do better, then it's not a good trade. So, I mean, it's a tough – it's going to be – I love the balls that the Raiders have. And I thought with the Chandler Jones move and then trading the Conway, getting Rocky Ya-Sin in return, I thought that was brilliant. And it was ballsy. I don't know if it's going to work or not. But as far as Rodgers retiring, he could. You never know what Rodgers is going to do, to be honest with you. But to say that Green Bay's not going to be a force because Adams is not there. Look what you got in the NFC North. You have 2 teams that are totally retooling their defenses. All right, the Bears are going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. The Vikings going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Neither one of those coaches have any head coaching experience. So the Packers are going to have that division wrapped up probably around Thanksgiving. I mean, let's be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if the Lions end up having 7 to 8 wins and being second in that division. But Green Bay should easily win that division. They get to the playoffs. You got Aaron Rodgers. You have a good defense. I mean, they're seriously like the Rams. They're exploding. You had Tampa Bay. Now that you get Brady back, that'd be the team that I would worry about. But Green Bay could be number 2. So I don't know. It's going to be a great season, man. It's going to be a great season. Funk, ain't he only eating $3 million of our cap? Walker, I don't think he hits the cap that hard this year. He doesn't. It was a good re-signing. I wouldn't call it the best, but it was solid. Denver, I think he's trying to screw them so when he leaves, he can look how bad they got when I left. You never know. I don't think so. I think that he got his money. He back-to-back MVPs. He wants to be paid like the highest paid guy. I don't blame him. So, I'm just glad we didn't grossly overpay anybody. So SOL overpays for people. The North is trash, of course. Yeah, it is. It is. But if you're a Lions fan, you got to like it because you got to say, look, man, we're building up. The Lions are the only team in the North that are definitely building up. The rest, Green Bay's just trying to maintain status quo. They got to figure out what to do with this big hole at DaVante Adams. And then, Rodgers and all that money, that's going to be an issue. So now you're in great shape. You have a lot of draft picks. Over the next 2 years. So I'm thinking like 2024, 2025, the Lions may have a nice stretch where they dominate the NFC North. Chicago and Minnesota are going to be very interesting because there's pieces there. It's funny because if you put these two teams together, they're the best team in the NFL. You have a great defense in Chicago and a great offense in Minnesota. You at least have pieces. But now retooled coaching staff have to figure out what the hell do you got. And both these teams are going to be very interesting. So Broncos could jump similar to what we did in Tampa, just by adding a quarterback, except we had a better coach in Arians and our division was much easier. They have a really good roster. It's not sure about the coach. It's not a similar situation, but a lot of people feel like it is. In Bruce Arians, you had a coach who was used to coaching quarterbacks. He coached Roethlisberger. He coached Locke. He coached Carson Palmer. He had a lot of experience. You got a first-time head coach who's the expectations are beyond ridiculous because the expectations are Super Bowl and they're a 7-win team. It's completely different when you have Tom Brady. And I didn't think it would work because Bruce Arians is a guy that wants to go deep to short, where Brady's always been short to long. I was like, well, Brady's 45, can't throw deep anymore. I was wrong. In Denver, they're going to run an offense that was designed for Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, there's a step below, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Here's a step down, and Russell Wilson, what made Russell Wilson win a Super Bowl was a great defense and a solid running game. And you got that in Denver. The defense has to keep playing good, but you lose one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. Vic Fangio is a great defensive mind. You lose him, so you're going to have a downgrade in defense. Okay, that's the first thing. All right, you had Todd Bowles who really helped that defense out. So you got to keep that defense. Now, you do have a good running game, but you do lose Melvin Ingram. So Javonte Williams has to really, really, really step up because he needs to do about maybe over 400 touches. So the expectations are for what Denver the expectations are for the Denver Broncos what Tampa Bay did, add a quarterback, win a Super Bowl. And if they don't, and that doesn't happen, a lot of people, seriously, it wouldn't surprise me if the head coach is one and done. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I agree. One Pride 40, Jackson. Yeah, it was a good signing. if he can play the same way. So Christian Kirk is grossly overpaid. He needs to have a big season. So if the Honey Badger would come to Detroit for 35 for 3 years, I'd take him. Can't even think about more. Wouldn't really want to give him that, but give him Walker and Walker together. It would be nice. He signed for 3 years for $42 million with Kansas City. I think that he'd have to change that 3 to a 4. So 3 years, $45 million. And I know that you don't want to pay him that, but that's kind of what it would take for him to go to Detroit. I think he'd take less money and go somewhere else, but him and Walker together would be very good. Seriously, the Honey Badger in Detroit makes a lot of sense, but I don't think he would go for that at all. Oh, the Kirk deal is up there. Yeah, Kirk Cousins re-signed for some big money too, and that's another thing is that he needs to take the next step. And the offensive weapons that they got is just ridiculous in Minnesota. So if Minnesota doesn't have a top 10 offense, heads will roll, people will get fired. Kirk Cousins could get traded. So Jones and Crosby are going to be really sick together. And I did too. I really like Rock Ya-Sin coming out of college. And I love this move because you improve 2 sections of your team. Now, I talked about Von Miller going from outside linebacker to defensive end. Why do I like it for Jones? Why don't I like it for Von Miller? Because the Raiders are in a division with 2 pass-heavy teams, the Chargers and the Chiefs. And what are you trying to do? Trying to beat Kansas City. Well, what's Kansas City do? Kansas City's a passing team. So getting a guy who's a pass rusher and an outside linebacker making him a defensive end, I don't mind that much. Denver, I'm not really sure if they're going to be a run or a pass team. I think that if they're smart, they try to be a run team, but they may say, hey, we got a Hall of Fame quarterback, want to throw the ball around. The Chargers are a passing team. So, yeah, I really like that, and I really liked Roxon. And the thing with Roxon is you keep him because he was a second-round pick. So you get him for 1 year, it doesn't work out, you lose nothing. So I followed the Honey Badger on social media, and he is not worried at all. So he's having a great time. He's going to sign somewhere for big money. I'm kind of surprised too, but he's going to sign somewhere soon. Yeah, I agree. Jones and Crosby, a good 1-2 combo. I like the potential of Bosa and Khalil Mack duo. Now Bosa can avoid getting doubles and so much attention. I remember the first game between Kansas City and the Chargers. Bosa was the best player on the field. Bosa just needs to stay healthy. Bosa stays healthy. He's one of the best players in football. Khalil Mack, same thing. The issue is, are these guys going to play 17 games together? The answer is no. I can tell you this for a fact. They're probably not going to play 12 games together. 1 or 2 of these guys is going to get hurt. But if healthy, great duo. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Chargers are terrible against the run. I'm surprised they didn't address the interior than getting a pass rusher and Mac, but it does help Bosa. And now keep in mind they have the 17th pick in the draft, and I fully expect them to maybe trade up to try to get a defensive tackle, or they may want to trade down. Somebody like the Marvin Leal, I think, would be perfect for this team. You may want to take Leal at 17, Veal, V-E-A-L. You may want to take him at 17, maybe a little rich. According to my mock draft, I had Wyatt going to the Jets at 10. I just released that today. But a guy like Wyatt really doesn't fit the Chargers defense, but you could add him. At 17 is oh God, what's the big defensive tackle out of Georgia? Jones. I'm drawing a blank here. I completely forgot Jones. Your guy's name, my favorite player, Jordan Davis. I'm sorry, I feel like an asshole. You may get somebody like Jordan Davis at 17. I think he's going to be gone. Spoiler alert, because he's not one of my first 10 picks. But yeah, the Chargers should address this in the draft, and they also have to fix right tackle. They just cut their starting right tackle. So yeah. Spoiler alert, I don't think he's going to drop that far. So just spoiler ruining my mock draft. One thing me and Funk agree on is that Hutchinson's going to Detroit. So Chargers signed Sebastian Day from the Rams on the interior, and another freaking nature from Georgia falls and probably make a move. Chargers front seven will be nasty. James and Jackson in the backfield. I forgot about Sebastian Day from the Rams. I forgot about that. But yeah, they also have to fix right tackle. They need a right tackle, and I could actually see them maybe trying to trade up or hopeful that one of these tackle prospects falls to 17. So. Chicago looks like it's such a dumpster fire right now. Minnesota lives in mediocrity. I agree with both of these things. One thing I hated about Minnesota is that they want to go to a 3-4. They're not built for that at all. And you have this offense that could be – I'm not being facetious here. This offense could be the best offense in football because you added 2 high draft picks on the offensive line. Dalvin Cook, when healthy, is as good as anybody. You got a great pair of receivers. And Cousins is I think I like Cousins more than most people, but you switch defenses, that's just going to be a disaster. In Chicago, they're going to switch defensive schemes, which was their strength, and then they're going to build the team around the rookie quarterback, who's basically going to have a second rookie season when you're a defensive-minded coach. Eberflus, I don't have a problem with Eberflus being head coach. Chicago's not the right place. To tell you the truth, if you're Eberflus, you should have took the Minnesota. The Minnesota and Chicago jobs, I really felt they should have been flip-flopped. And I think it's Kevin O'Connell. He should have took the Chicago job, work with that quarterback, keep the defense the same. And then Eberflus should have went to Minnesota, keep the defense the same, and then just, hand off the offense to the best name you can get. So, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Joseph Day. I completely forgot about that. So, yeah. Jimmy! Yes! I'm fashionably as usual. How goes it? Everybody is really excited about the big news of Juju Smith-Schuster signing with the Chiefs. Biggest news of the day. AFC West is looking. Yeah, the AFC West is. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun this year. Every game is going to be a prime time game. Every game is going to be a primetime game. So, I mean, all 4 of the teams got – actually, I'm lying to you. 3 of the teams got better. Kansas City got a little worse as of right now. But I think Kansas City's best team in the AFC. Best team in the AFC. So, man, some love for Jimmy, man. Yeah, Gators here. Gators excited about Juju going to Kansas City. There's some news going on in Denver. They signed somebody. I'm not sure who. Russell Wilson goes to Denver in a trade, and that's like the 4th or 5th best story. I like Wyatt over Jordan Davis. Well, in my latest mock draft, I'll full disclosure, I had – for weeks, Devin Lloyd going to the Jets at 10. And then I started going over it. And I'm like, linebacker's really not that key. And then Fred Warner, I think, was a 5th round pick out of Wisconsin. So, I just don't see him using a top 10 pick. But Wyatt on that wide 9 defense makes a lot of sense. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not, but I had DaVante Wyatt going in my latest mock draft. He was going to the Jets at 10. And I wanted to put Devin Lloyd there. I really wanted to put Devin Lloyd there. And I'm like, I can't see the Jets passing up Wyatt. That defensive line would just be ridiculous. That defensive line would just be awesome. So, but yeah, Wyatt. I like Jordan Davis, by the way. I major man crush on Jordan Davis, but he's not a wide 9 player. He's really not. He's really not. Now, could he fall to the Chargers at 17? Yeah, absolutely, and that would be a great signing. Great signing. I forgot about Sebastian Day, though. I really did. Super Saiyan Lions. What's up, man? What's up, man? Dude, I love the thumbnail. Last week you told me it was Dragon Ball Z. I know nothing about it, but the dude, I like it, man. It's awesome. Funk is lying here. This is a lie. Hey, on this channel, you can always disagree with me. He says Kansas City won't win the division this year. Division stacked, man. You got the Raiders winning, Funk. The Raiders winning the division is what I'm seeing from you, which would make sense. The Raiders winning the division would make sense. I think it's still Kansas City's division, but I mean it's brutal. It's brutal division, man. Brutal division. Oh God, sorry. Okay. I'm going to go over my mock draft a little bit. I made some changes, and I apologize. I meant to put this on a spreadsheet, but I got distracted with Deshaun Watson, and oh, sorry, my contacts are bothering me. Yeah, my contacts are bothering me. Normally, I wear glasses, but I had my contacts in for the last couple of days. But I'm going to go over my mock draft here. Number one, I still got Evan Neal, and I think I said this last week, but I still like with Cam Robinson signing, you start Evan Neal on the right side, you improve the offensive line. Remember, Jacksonville's going to get Travis Etienne back, so Jacksonville's, I think, poised to try to make the next step up, and then tons of free agent signings. So Evan Neal to me still makes a lot of sense. Number two, Aiden Hutchinson. I really think that I could see Carolina trading with Detroit and Detroit taking less than standard market value because a trade between 2 and 6, if you're using, I used a Draft Tech chart, would be 1,000. The pick number 6 were 1,600. The second picks were 2,600. Well, 1,000 is pick number 16. So if you used a number 1 pick for 2023, that counts as a second round pick, which isn't 1,000. So that you may have to do some trades in there. But if Detroit takes less than market value to get 3 number 1s in 2023, and I think that they're going to try to angle for that. So I really think that Carolina is going to jump to either 2 or 3. I think going to 2. Detroit taking less than market value, getting 3 number 1s for 2023, going down to 6 makes a lot of sense. There are no trades in my mock draft, so I like Hutchinson. I still love Hutchinson going to Detroit. The thing is, though, the way my mock draft would be set up, if you traded down from 2 to 6, which I think could realistically happen, then at 6 you take Hutchinson. So 3. Especially with the Watson trade, Thibodeau makes a lot of sense at 3, just tons of upside. You can roll the dice with Thibodeau. Definitely not the safe pick Hutchinson is, but you can roll the dice with Thibodeau at 3. And you can also, you pick again at 13? Yeah, so you can go ahead and roll the dice there with Thibodeau at 3. I still like that pick. Number 4, Ike Ekwonu. I personally think that Ekwonu would go to 2. I think Carolina goes from 6 to 2, takes Ekwonu at 2. That's kind of what I see. I don't think Ekwonu is going to go to 4. I think somebody's going to trade up with either Detroit or Houston to take Ekwonu. But in this mock draft, there are no trades. So Ekwonu at 4, great fit for Jets day 1 starter. Number 5, Kyle Hamilton. Julius Peppers is a free agent. No signing of him. I think he got injured late in the year, so he may not be healthy. Kyle Hamilton goes. Great pick for the Giants at 5. Number 6, Trevor Penning. I really think that Carolina really wants Ekwonu. Really wants Ekwonu. Put him on the left side, day 1 starter. Number 7, I had David Ojabo. Somebody please let me know. He got injured on pro day. If it's a serious injury, I have to redo it. If it's not a serious injury, Ojabo at 7. For those of you that don't know, the Giants defensive coordinator is Wink Martindale, was the Ravens coordinator. The story with the Ravens is their linebackers coach took over as defensive coordinator for Michigan last year. He's coming back as the defensive coordinator for the Ravens. They fired Martindale, but he does have a good relationship with him. So I think he has some inside information on Ojabo. That's why I like that pick at 7. It is a little rich. If he's injured, if it's a serious injury that he sustained today at his pro day, I'm going to change it. But If it's not, I'm going to keep it. Number 8, Jimmy Johnson, defensive end, edge rusher out of Florida State. 18 sacks last year for the Falcons. They need help. So, yeah. Sauce Gardner at number 9. Look, Seattle Seahawks, they just do some goofy stuff, man. Come draft time, you never know what they're going to do. I actually think that they're going to trade, but I love Sauce Gardner. I think he's clear-cut number 1 corner. Seattle loves big physical corners, and then number 10, DaVante Wyatt just fits in that wide 9 defense perfectly. So, yeah, I thought Kansas City Chiefs easily were going to win the division last year, and I thought this year would be tougher. Now everybody, it's seriously brutal division. Plus you play the NFC West this year. It's going to be tough. So Matt Ryan's not happy. He's made public that he would love to go to Indy, and that's a perfect spot for him. It wouldn't surprise me if Matt Ryan ends up in Indianapolis here shortly. Excuse me. When the Jets trade up from 10 plus a few picks to 2, they can take Hutch, and Hamilton will be this year. Lions will take Lloyd at 10. Well, if they go from 4 to 10, they would have to fall in love with Hutchinson, but I don't think they will because they got Carl Lawson and John. I think it's John Franklin Meyer, so they're set on defensive end. So I see no way the Jets trade up for a defensive end. Doesn't make sense. But if the Lions, let's just say they went from 10 to 2, which they would not do. That situation doesn't make sense. They don't want to take Hutchinson and Hamilton, and I can tell you they're not going to take. I originally had Hamilton there, but they already signed a corner and safety and free agency, so they're not going to take Hamilton. They don't want to take Hutchinson because they already got defensive ends knocked out. That's why I like a Wyatt at 10, and then you fix the left tackle position. So that to me doesn't make sense. I think the only team that would trade up to 2 would be Carolina. The Jets definitely are not going to trade up to 2. I really think that's the plan. I really think the Lions would love this, and I think this is the perfect situation because if you go ahead and you give Goff 2 years. Pay attention, Carolina. Give your quarterback 2 years, right? Put some pieces around him. Get him in a system, give him an opportunity, give him a fair chance, right? Give him 2 years. It doesn't work. You get 3 number 1s, and you'll probably need all 3 to trade up to number 1. All right. The Lions are not going to be the worst team in football. I'm pretty sure they're not going to pick number 1 overall, and we'll talk. We can do that after the draft and everything. The plan is after the 4th of July, I'm going to break down all 32 teams before the season starts, and we can kind of go from there. But the Lions would need 3 number 1s to get the number 1 pick, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Hutch falls to 6 if the Lions trade back, or do you mean no? Here's what I think would happen. Hamilton would still go to the Giants at 5. The only thing that would change would be Aquanu going 2, Thibodeau 3, number 4. I'm sorry, number 4 would be the Jets. Number 4 would be interesting, to be perfectly honest. But no, the Lions would still take Hutchinson. Hutchinson would be the pick. Hamilton's off the board at 5. That would still be the same. The Jets at 4, that would be kind of interesting to see what they do because they could go Trevor Penning if they're sold him. I don't think they would do that. I think actually at number 4 they would try to trade down. If they failed, they could take Wyatt at 4. But no, Hutchinson at 6 would be the play. I think the Lions really love Hutchinson. I know you don't. I think the Lions absolutely do. Safest player in the draft. Instantly upgrade your team. Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat is the best defensive duo you will see this season. I don't believe that. No, you're probably not the best defensive end duo in your division. That's probably going to be Sweat, and you got Sweat right, but it's probably going to be Sweat and Chase Young. He's going to come back 100%. But I also do like the fact that you signed Fletcher Cox. Smart move. I have to admit, I don't know much about him, but Sauce has to be one of the best. Yeah, I know. I love it. If that doesn't raise your draft stock, I don't know what does. What being Sauce? Yeah. Well, the 3 number ones, yeah. I think in order to get the number 1 pick, you're gonna need 3 number ones. So, yeah, it sucks how the Michigan kid got hurt. I always thought pro days were overrated and that's unnecessary, especially for him because I think he was at the combine. I don't know if you remember it. The Seahawks starting corner, University of Washington kid, he tore his ACL at a pro day. He was going to be a first-round pick. Went to Philly in the 2nd round, never really recovered. And then now he's back in Washington with the Seahawks starters, going to pegged to be one of the starters. And I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. But, yeah, he tore his ACL at the Washington pro day. I don't know the severity of the injury. Don't know the severity of the injury. So I'm just trying to. Yeah. I actually do think that there's an extremely strong chance that Carolina and Detroit would make a pick. I would say right now I got about 50-50 that Carolina goes from 6 to 2. I really think it's Carolina. I think I think what's going to happen is as soon as Neal's off the board, they're going to go ahead and say, dude, what do you want? And the Lions should, 2 number ones, and they're going to say, well, how about a 1 and a 3 next year, and then we flip flop, or a 1. Actually, they don't have a 3. Carolina doesn't have a 2nd or 3rd. So you say 1, and then how about a 1 and a 3 next year, or 1 and a 4, and you kick back a 5, and take less than market value. But it wouldn't surprise me if when the Lions come up to draft, if something happens in like the last 15 seconds, they're going to use 9 minutes and 45 seconds on this. They're going to be on the phone quite a bit. But I really think that Carolina will end up with the number 2 pick in the draft. I really believe Carolina is going to go from 6 to 2. They're going to take a Kwanu or Neal, whichever one's available. That's kind of what I see. So, but yeah, I do think you're going to get out of it. I think there's about 50-50 chance. I think Carolina really wants that number 2 pick. They need a left tackle bad. They get a left tackle, stick with Darnold, and see what you got. Fine, the Jets can trade 10 and a few day 2 picks and 1-2 next year and 35 this year. Then the Jets can take it, Kanu or Neal. They still get a stud defensive guy at 4. I don't want to. I don't see the Jets doing that at all. But I know you don't want to. I think Carolina will probably end up at 2. So Peter North here, old. Huge Texan fan. What do you see for a Texans future after Watson? Thanks, Peter North. All right, awesome. Welcome, Peter, man. Hit that subscribe button. We need more men porn stars in this community. So, man, welcome, brother. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Number one, if you haven't been paying attention, I love Davis Mills. I think he is going to be a star. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. Arm talent leaps off the chart. I absolutely love that you went ahead and you signed your defensive coordinator, and then you're going to use those draft picks to build up your defense. I love what you've done in the offseason so far. I like I think the Houston Texans, when the 2022 season's concluded, Davis Mills may be the best quarterback in the division. I really believe that. Mills' talent's off the chart. So let's just say you go Kayvon Thibodeau at 3, and it works. I mean, probably the most upside of any player in the draft, Thibodeau, maybe. Let's say you get a superstar, Blacklock superstar. I love Ross Blacklock, right? Mills, makes that boost. You could win the division. You could win the division, especially if you get stud at 13. The way I have my mock draft right now, you get a stud at 13. You get a stud plus at 13. So yeah. Houston Texans, I think, are fantastic shape. Fantastic shape. It wouldn't surprise me if the Texans win the division. It really wouldn't surprise me. So Carolina, give me. They've been public. They're not giving up Chin, but yeah, I understand why you don't. 6 and Chin would be a great move. It'd be a great move for the Lions. It really would. I think I'd question Carolina. I think Carolina would rather give you picks than Chin, but it's you're getting a little greedy there, but I get it. Eagles trade 15 and 51 for 4 and draft Hamilton. Is that realistic? Well, you'll need to trade more than that. Let's go to the draft chart. 15's worth 1050 and 4's 1800. 51 is 390. So you're 1440. That would get you up to 7. So you'd have to give more. If you want to get the 4, I hate to say it, but 15 and what is it? Let me see here. Well, actually, what I would do is I would go 16. Take 16 and 19. That would be 1875, and the 4th pick's 1800. You're not. You would have to give. It's not realistic for 15 and 51 only. You would need to give up more. I don't think the Jets would want to trade down that low, but could the Eagles, let's just say the Eagles got up to 4. Let's just say they got up to 4. Could they draft Hamilton? Sure. Absolutely. You still got 16 and 19, but it's not enough. It's not enough, but let's say they did make enough. Could they take Hamilton for sure? Absolutely. Yeah, Philly. Okay, Philly makes the call. I don't think the Jets do it. So, man, all right, man, cool. All right, awesome. Man, I got some love from a porn star, so it's awesome. Yeah. Oh God, Denver Gator, man. Oh God, that was I salute you. I'm not going. Denver Gator, this is gold, man. I'm gonna give it a little highlight here. I put a little highlight on it. That's a good one. Great guy, Dan, man. Thanks, great looking honky, good looking honky, not great. Denver, I'm so happy for you. All my best wishes. Damn, so another second rounder. Man, my contact kind of. Let's see here. God, what would it take to get the full? Okay. Let me look at. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. What would you need to trade if you're Philly to get up to 4? Okay, let's say you're Philly and you want to trade up to 4. I think it's 2 number ones, man. I think it's 2 number ones. I really think it. I really think that what you would do would be 16 and 19. And I'll be honest, I don't know if the Jets want to trade down that low, because I mean the Jets picked 35 and 38, so they would probably not. If I'm the Jets, I want to stay in the top 10. I don't want to trade out of the top 10 because you pick at 10. I think that if I'm the Jets, I would maybe trade with the Giants at 7. Seattle, if they want to trade up, I think that what you'd be looking at 16 and 19, which isn't bad. But 16 and 19, the 4 for Hamilton. That I think that would be a starting point, and I honestly don't think the Jets. I think the Jets would just say no. But yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at, 16 and 19. No. 16 and 19 would be a start, and then the Jets may want something more. To be honest with you, if the Jets were in trade with Philly, I think they would want 15, 16, and a player. You may be looking at Quinnen Williams, which would really suck. But that's kind of what I would think. If I'm the Jets, I'm sorry. I got my players mixed up here. If I'm the Jets, I would probably want some players. You may have to put 16, number 2, and you have to throw in a player. So the Eagles argued 15 and 19. They might. Who are the Jets going to draft now? They got their safeties, so they draft another O-line to pair with the Bryce Hall guy. I think my mock draft, I got Ekwonu and Wyatt. I love Wyatt going to the Jets. I really, really do, because you put him on that defensive line, you have one of the best defensive lines in football day one. So I love that. I like Ekwonu at 4. I really do, but I really think that when everything's settled and done, I think either Detroit or Houston trades down and Ekwonu's already gone. So the Jets would be kind of in limbo there. And the Jets may want to say, hey, you know what? We'll take Wyatt at 4. Way too much? Sure, why not? But they could do it. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the Jets do. Another thing is that the Jets could also entice another team that wants a quarterback. Seattle, for example, at 9. You could have, I'm trying to think here, the Saints at 18, Atlanta at 8. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. So, but it'll be interesting. But as of right now, without any trades, I think Ekwonu at 4, Wyatt at 10, and the Jets are super happy. Yes, please give us 2 for the love of God. We want Hamilton. I haven't even looked at Philly's depth chart yet. I'm not sure what your safety position looks like, but I mean, you got 3 number 1s. If I was an Eagles fan, I would think instead of trying to trade up and get one player, I would love to have 3 new starters on this defense. Let me see here. Oh yeah, you got Anthony Harris back, and according to this, Rodney McLeod, whatever. Okay, so that's according to our lads. So McLeod, yeah, I mean, Harris isn't a bad player. You got Slay on the outside. You also, Steven Nelson, is he coming back? So Derek Barnett. So you may want to go defensive end there. God, there's a lot of things like seriously, if I was the Eagles, I would really want to have all 3 of those picks, man. So. But I get it. I mean, you're not alone, man. Draft time comes up. You want a superstar. I get it. There was one mock draft. A Chiefs fan realistically said Frank Clark, 30 to Jacksonville, so we could draft Hutchinson. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, my this contact, like I got like an eye booger or something. There's like this blurry spot in here. But if I'm the Eagles, I want all 3 of these picks. I want all 3 of them. But as a Lion, I want out of the top 10 bad this year. Well, seriously, if you trade with Carolina and you get 6, I would be really happy with that. So I am really sorry. I should have put my glasses in. Yeah, it's bothering my eye. Slasher, why trade all that capital for Hamilton stud, but definitely why not hold and grab Hill or Brisker, grab a Lave also. There's a lot of things that you could do there. If you lose, I think Barnett's a free agent. So, I mean, you got Sweat on one side. I think Brandon Graham's gone. You re-signed Fletcher Cox is a good thing. You need a linebacker. You may want to, hope. One of my draft crushes is Devin Lloyd. He's not in my top 10, so you may want to trade up. I mean, You may be able to get somebody like Devin Lloyd. You may also want to go for another corner. Are you sold on your offensive line? I know Kelsey's on a 1-year deal, but I mean, what do you plan on doing next year? What about left tackle? Who's your starting left tackle? Are you going with are you going with Dillard? Or are you going with Matilia? I mean, if I'm the Eagles, I would use all 3 of those picks and try to get 3 starters. Oh, please let us trade. We need a linebacker. Either Dean or Lloyd would work great. Yeah, I mean, seriously, if you trade down out of the top 10 and you can get Lloyd, that would be a day 1 starter. But yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I seriously think 2 to 6 would work out really good for both teams. Denver Gator, Howie Roseman can't draft unless it's in the top 10. I'm very nervous to see who he picks if someone is not as a year on draft day. I can't have another Raygor situation happen. And I don't get why Raygor – I loved the Raygor pick at the time. I like Jefferson better, but I didn't hate the Raygor pick. I don't know. Is he trade bait? Let's say you draft a receiver. Is he trade bait? I mean, there might be a team that would say, hey, we'll give you a 4th or a 5th for him. Why not? Getting out top 10 guarantees enough capital to really flip the roster. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Barnett is actually good to be a really good fit with the Broncos or Lions, just needs to fix his penalty issues. I know I think he's a free agent. I loved him coming out of Tennessee. I absolutely loved this guy, and I thought he was going to be an A-plus player and just hasn't worked. Just hasn't worked out. So if you're giving up on him and you got 15, 16, and 19, then you take a defensive end at one of those spots. You need a linebacker, and then what you're going to do on the offensive line. So, if he's a top 10 left tackle, so you're set on tackle, so you need some help in the interior. All right. Kelsey's not going to last forever. It's always better to draft one early than later. So you could go edge, linebacker, interior, offensive line at 15, 16, 19. I don't know. I don't know enough about Matilia. I can tell you this. I loved Andre Dillard coming out of college. Loved Dillard. And I thought Philly did a great job when they drafted him. And I have no – and, he got injured and he came back. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him. But if you're high on Matilia, get rid of Dillard. Don't have him as a swing tackle. Don't try to move him to right. Just get rid of him and go from there. I will. I'm honest. This is why I created this show. I don't know if this is who you're happy with at your starting left tackle, but if he's a top 5, and I don't think he is, but I will. I'll watch some tape on him because if you're sold on him, move Dillard for anything. Just get rid of him. I will. Rager might not like Philly. I don't know what's up even with – yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I honestly think that he just – I just – every time I see him, he's just got the shittiest body language. Like teammates trying to get excited, like teammates go up like for this, and he's like – he's always moping. Always. I remember as a rookie, he started playing. He had like a 80-yard punt return for a touchdown, and he just looked miserable afterwards. Like there was no energy, no excitement. Normally, when you have a first-round pick as a wide receiver from 2 years ago and a first-round pick last year, you're set at wide receiver. But I don't know. Rager just seems like a bad fit. I have no idea. To tell you the truth, I would love Rager, in Kansas City. I mean, the guy has special teams ability, speed, really good route runner. People say he was small, but I thought he was 5'11", 205. And he didn't play like a small guy at TCU. I actually thought he could be a stud, and for whatever reason, but I mean, you got 3 picks in the first round. Do you want to use one of those on a wide receiver? If so, you're giving up on him. Get rid of him and Dillard. Make some moves, man. Funk says I'm okay with 2 to 6. It guarantees the Lions have ammo next year to move up to 1 or 2 if golf fails to impress because Carolina doesn't have any day 2 pick. Yeah. Carolina does not have a second or a third round pick. So if you move up from 2 to 6, you got to give up a pick next year. So you give up a number 1 next year. And if I'm Carolina and like Quan, I did not watch any NC State this year, but I watched the combine. I watched enough combines to know when you're 300 pounds and you move like he does, he looked like a tight end in those drills. He looked like a tight end. Like that's a left tackle. That's a day 1 starter at left tackle. And you need that. Carolina desperately needs that. I haven't looked over Houston's offensive line. I know that they have an aging left tackle, but I think they're happy with him. So I don't think Aquanu would be the pick at 3. But if I'm Detroit, I say, dude, we really need number one for 2023, and probably want number 2. And you're not going to get a 1 and a 2 next year, but why not ask? And use all 3 of those picks because you're going to try to get up to 1 or 2 next year if you're not happy with golf. And now with 3 number 1s, you got more than enough capital. Matter of fact, the Rams had to give up 3 number 1s to get the first pick in the draft. The draft golf in the first place. Your current general manager, I'm drawing a blank on his name, was part of that trade that went all the way up to number 1. I think it was Tennessee who had the first pick. I think it was Tennessee. I could be wrong. But ultimately, you went ahead and you had to use 3 number 1s. So get 3 number 1s, and you may not even have to trade all of them. Let's hope that you don't have a top 5 pick next year. But let's just say you have a top 10 pick. You may be able to trade, like, let's just say 9, 18, and 24. Let's just throw some numbers out there. You may be able to trade like 9 and 18, and next year's number 1 keep 24 or something like that. So you're right. Carolina, that's the hard thing about Carolina trading up is that they already gave up a second and third already. So sold on Matillia. I want to move Dillard for at least a second, but I'd be okay with a third or even a 4th. Matillia's second highest OT and run blocking only by time. Okay. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know. I will watch some film on him because with Dillard, you're not going to. I can tell you right now, if you're trying to trade him, you're not going to get a second. You may not even get a third. You may be looking at like getting a 4th or a 5th. And you have to think what NFL team really needs a left tackle right now. Off the top of my head, the Colts need one. The Saints need one. Neither one of those teams really have a lot of draft capital to work with. Was it the Bears? I think the Bears signed somebody to play left tackle. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know the Colts need one and the Saints need one because both their starting left tackles are currently free agents. I would hit both those teams up, and you may have to get rid of him for like a 4th or a 5th, if that. So. You're not going to get a second, probably not getting a third either, but 4th or 5th realistic. And if Matilda is that good, then that's perfect. You're in perfect shape. I didn't know he was that good. I really didn't. And that's the whole point of creating this channel. I want to get inside information from smart sports fans. Like the Lions fans told me they're going to run a 3-4. I was convinced they're going to run a 4-3. And then they're like, no, it's going to be a 3-4. And I was like, really? And I was like, ooh, boy. And that's the whole point of this channel, so I can get inside information on 32 different teams. So you're my Eagles guy, man. Slasher, so thank you, man. That's great. I will watch film on them. By the next time, in the next video, we're going to have more trade talk. We're going to have more draft stuff. We're going to have more free agency stuff. But between now and next Friday, I will watch some more Matilda. And I had no idea it was that good. I really didn't. I thought left tackle could be a question mark. So Carolina and Detroit will both probably miss the playoffs, so the cost could be reasonable. I I really thought Carolina was making some smart moves. And to tell you the truth, I thought everything was going to work out. CMC got hurt. The offensive line didn't work out the way I thought it could. I think they wanted Christensen there, hoping that as a third round pick, he would just be a day one starter on the left side, even though most draft experts thought he'd be better suited as a guard. They drafted a guy I loved out of Ole Miss a couple of years ago. I thought he was going to be a starting left tackle, former 5-star player, drawing a blank on his name, just can't stay healthy. I don't even know if he's on the roster now. So Carolina is in desperate need for a left tackle. And if you find, and I know Funk has, but if you go into the comments, there's a couple of Carolina fans kind of duking it out on whether David Tepper said that we're 100% taking the quarterback or whether you're not. Anytime teams say that we're taking a position, they're not. So I think that if I'm Carolina, I'm going on with left tackle. So yeah. I didn't say Panthers. Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. If you're the Panthers, use a 4th round pick, get Dillard, plug and play guy, you instantly improve your offensive line. Then at 6, you don't have to make that trade with the Lions. So One Pride 40 says, honestly, I thought Carolina was going to. I actually, you know what? I was planning on going into the show with a threesome with Watson going to the Falcons and Matt Ryan going to the Colts. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then I saw Cleveland. I was like, wait a minute, didn't he say Cleveland? And then I double checked and yeah, I actually thought it was going to be Atlanta. I didn't think it was Cleveland. Now you got to figure out what to do with Baker Mayfield. So, 1551, Dylan and Rager for 6. Rager played number 3 position beside Moore and Anderson. You know what? Seriously, that would be a great trade. Normally I don't. Okay. Normally when a team trades like that, you want the player compensation to be equal. That's why, like for example, the Browns are getting Watson and a 5th, even if it's a throwaway pick. So like, Carolina would probably kick back like a 6th or a 7th or something along those lines. But, seriously, if I'm Carolina, I 100% make this move. I 100% do this in a heartbeat. You get your left tackle position. Now you got to like Dillard. Okay. And then Rager, yeah, you get a former number 1 pick. Yeah, you get 15. If I'm Carolina, I 100% make this trade. 100%. And Philly, you still pick at 16 and 19. I mean, you're the Eagles fan. If I'm Carolina, I 100% make this pick. And the reason, now keep in mind, I 100% make this pick because I really like Dillard, but you have to be sold on Dillard. Forget about Rager, just throwaway pick because he would be the number 3 guy. And if he can play, he can play. And by the way, Matt Rule was the coach at Baylor. Rager played at TCU, so he knows a little bit about this kid, probably recruited him. So he may be happy. If I'm Carolina, if I am the Carolina Panthers, I 100% make this. If I'm an Eagles fan, you're the Eagles fan. I would probably want a little more in return because like Dillard is former number 1 pick, Rager is the number 1 pick. I mean, but if you're the Eagles fan, if you're happy with this, Carolina should jump on it. Carolina should 100% jump on this. And the team that would lose in this trade would be the Detroit Lions because Funk wants to get rid of that number 2 pick in the draft. Thank you, man. Slasher. Seriously, thank you for replacing this. So, if Carolina could move CMC for a pair of day 2 picks and trying hard for a number 1, they could give him the Lions for a pair of 2s for 2. To tell you the truth, I know that at one point they were open to trading CMC. I don't know if they would want to do a pair of 2s, but that would be interesting. I mean, if I'm Detroit, I 100% pulled the trigger on it because at one point in time, he was the best running back in football. It would be a gutsy move, but it'd also be gutsy for Carolina. However, Chuba Hubbard played really well as CMC's backup. But if I'm Carolina, I would shore up that left tackle position, keep my offense as is with Darnold as my quarterback, and say, let's see what we got. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, I would if I'm CMC when healthy could be the best running back in football. So who wouldn't want the best running back? There was somebody who thought the Chiefs were going to trade for CMC, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. So because I belong to a lot of social media groups and trying to promote my channel, I've had to block and mute a lot of Chiefs fans lately. I just don't mock CMC to Kansas City, but as a Lion, it'd be interesting. They can replace losing Reddick with somebody like Jermaine Johnson or George Kalifdis. I kind of forgot about that, but you got Josh Sweat on one side. Kalifdis, I think, would be a great fit. In my mock draft, I have Jermaine Johnson going number 8. I think a team like Atlanta can't pass on a guy like that. Kalifdis could 100% be available, and I really like this guy too. Dan, I may be looking too far ahead here, but you taking the Lions over season wins at 5 or 6. If it's at 5 or 6, yes, I would probably take the over. And the reason why I say that is because I think the Bears and the Vikings are in a bad situations. I really think they should have flip-flopped head coaches. Because I understand why I understand why, because when you have an offensive-minded coach who failed, you want to go with a defensive-minded coach, and that's why the Vikings and Bears went the directions that they did. But they're flip-flopping defensive schemes, and I'm not sure it's going to work out for either team. So if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm going into this season going, you know what? We might be able to finish, 2-3. Maybe we get lucky and beat Green Bay. Maybe Green Bay lays an egg and you win 3 or 4 wins in the division. So I would really I wonder what the Lions number is, because here's what I'm looking at with the Detroit Lions. You have a good offensive line. I like Goff better than most. All right. You get a Pro Bowl tight end. You added some speed on that offense with Chark. Really underrated, very smart move. You get DJ Swift, who I wanted in Kansas City desperately. And he's playing for some money now. This will be year 3. So, next year will be a contract year. So, he's thinking, hopefully, because I remember Adrian Peterson really liking him and being on board. So if I'm Swift, I'm like, hey man, I can be an every down back, but keep that speed. Good offensive line, weapons. Now you have a deep threat. All right. Fix up the defense. You got some young players there on defense. You get Okuda back, number 3 overall pick. He was injured early, so he should be able to. You Lions fans tell me, is he going to be healthy for training camp? How does he look? Because last year your 4th round pick played on the other corner. He played pretty damn good. So you need help in the secondary, but yeah, I would take over 5 or 6. I would seriously, if the over under comes out Detroit like 5.5, I'm taking over. Yeah, absolutely. I think 7's a reasonable floor given the strength of their opponents this season. And the offense, I think, is going to be sneaky good this year. Deep, yeah. I think 7's fair. So if I can get 5.5 or 6, yeah, I put a little bit. I mean, it wouldn't be my big play, but yeah, I would definitely put a little bit on the Lions. I think the Lions may surprise people and be the second best team in the division. I don't want CMC here, but if they could trade him and then use the 2nd rounder they got for him, the next year's 2nd rounder to pair up with 6. Oh man, Jesus. Yeah. Well, you're not right. You're not going to trade for CMC and then move them. That won't happen. But I get where you're coming from, and I know ultimately your goal is to get rid of that number 2 pick, and I get why. I really do, but I don't think that. Here's the deal: if you get CMC and the 6th pick in the draft, you're going to use CMC. But I don't think that Carolina will trade up to 2 and include CMC. So. I think the Lions can split the division this season, which them good. Yeah, I think so too. Schedule is very favorable for. I don't know what it is yet. Usually after the 4th of July is when I start breaking down the teams, but and over under should be available. Last year, I know that I followed Kelly in Vegas. Don't be one of these simps that follows her because she's hot. I followed her for years. She's the. You can't message her anymore because she's gotten too big, but I actually messaged her and she responded and sent me the Vegas Insiders link, which is really cool. I answered some questions about somebody she went to K-State, which is closer to Denver than Kansas City, but Midwest girl, moved to Vegas. She answered some questions about, she likes Summerlin better than Henderson. So I'm not going to pretend like we're friends, but she responded to some of my tweets, or I sent her some direct messages via Twitter. She responded back. Now she's too big, but anyway, Kelly in Vegas was posting like around early May that Westgate became open. So I think around May the over-unders will come out. I think it's May. I as soon as I find out, I'll let you know. I definitely want to talk about it. The Lions are a team I'm targeting. The Bengals are a team. Target the Bengals. One trend I'm going to tell you right now is that anytime you get a team that has 5 or 6 straight years of double-digit losses and they spike up, they always come back down. All right? It happened with San Francisco. Remember, they went to the Super Bowl. I was like, I'll bet the farm on San Francisco. What happened? They went down. The Bears, when they won the NFC North, Nagy's first year, what was that, 2017, 2018? What happened? They, 6 straight years, double-digit losses, 12-4, went back down. The Bengals number is going to be high. It'll probably be 11.5, and bet the under. Bet the under. I'm telling you that. Like the Bengals, I'm paying attention to. I'm paying attention to Lions. I don't like betting on rookie head coaches. I might make an exception because Denver Broncos fans are losing their damn mind. If that number's like 12, I'm probably betting the under. Bills. I want to see what the Bills number is. That could be 12.5. You may be able to find 13 somewhere. Definitely take the under there. Funky Lions, yeah, you don't want CMC there, man. Running backs in this day and age, we all know lose their engine pretty early, especially when they're main focused offense. Well, the thing that bothered me about CMC is he did the same thing Reggie Bush did, is that he put on the 25 pounds to try to be an every down back, and then his body started to break down, can't stay healthy. When he was 195, I thought he could have played for 10 years and be a 15 to 20 touch guy, but he wanted to prove that he's an every down back. Yeah, that's great, but can he stay healthy at 220? The answer is no. Reggie Bush couldn't do it. I think Reggie Bush had one season with Miami where I think he had a really good, I think it was like 1,400 rushing yards, and they couldn't stay healthy. Same thing with CMC. So, and I love CMC, don't get me wrong, but I don't see him being a 400 touch guy ever again. I don't think his body can handle it. Not only that, Lions have, the Lions got the running back position. The running back and offensive line position are 2 positions that they're in really good shape in. I thought he was a 4th rounder. Either way, I mean, I don't know if he's your day 1 starter. So, I didn't know Swift was from Philly. Loved him at Georgia. I wanted him. When I found out the Chiefs used the 32nd pick on a running back, I thought Swift, and I was excited. And I saw CEH, and I was like, I want Swift. And I agree with you, Slasher, that Swift would look great in the Chiefs uniform. CMC would not come here. Carolina can trade him for two-day. Carolina can trade him for 2-day, 2 picks, so second, third round picks. Then Carolina can trade one of those picks and next year to move. Okay, trade CMC for draft capital to go from 6 to 2. I think that more than likely they would just trade 6 and then picks from 2023. So I didn't know that would be sweet. That would be sweet. That would be sweet. All right. Hey, listen, before I'm going to wrap this up, but before I get off of here, don't forget, give me a thumbs up. It means the world to me. Give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment below if you don't mind. It means the world to me. It helps the YouTube algorithm. There's like some eye stuff in this contact. There's like this blurry spot right out here. So I'm going to take out my contacts. I'm going to take out my contacts. Enjoy my Friday. I'm going to have Washington, the 11th pick in the draft. That's going to come out Monday. Unless Philly makes some changes, I'm actually going to have Friday. I'm going to have 15 and 16 together. So you get 2 for the price of 1. I was planning on talking more mock draft here, but with Watson leaving, it kind of blew my mind. But probably next week, I'll probably go over my mock draft in a little more detail because I'll have halfway done, being that Philly picks at 15 and 16. Now, if Philly trades one of those picks, which they easily could, then 1 through 15. But we still have we'll also have free agent news. We'll probably have some trade news. Probably have some players on the move. It's been a great offseason so far. So I'm really looking forward to talking more about what the crazy 2022 NFL offseason. So listen, hey, everybody, have a great weekend. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, man. Give me a thumbs up. Jimmy, you have a great weekend. Look forward to seeing everybody back next Friday.